Well, hello everyone. Bill here from the Attentive Traveler. Welcome to episode number 12, Positano and the Amalfi Coast. With its stunning scenery and its hill and harbor-hugging towns and its historic ruins, Amalfi is Italy's coast with the most. The breathtaking trip from Sorrento to Salerno is one of the world's great bus or taxi rides. It will leave your mouth open and it'll leave your camera full of memories. You'll gain respect for the 19th century Italian engineers who built the roads, and even more for the 21st century drivers who squeeze past each other here daily. Cantilevered garages, hotels and villas, they cling to the vertical terrain, and beautiful but out of reach coves tease from far below. So as you hyperventilate, notice how the Mediterranean, a sheer 500-foot drop below, really can twinkle. Now, all this beautiful scenery apparently inspired local Romeo and Juliets with the latex evidence of late-night romantic encounters littering the roadside turnouts. And over the centuries, the spectacular scenery and climate here that's been a siren call for the rich and the famous, luring Roman Emperor Tiberius and Richard Wagner and Sophia Loren, Gore Vidal, and others to the Amalfi Coast's special brand of La Dolce Vita. So in this episode, I'll briefly connect the dots, our choices on getting from Naples to Positano, as well as getting from the train stations to our hotels. We'll then dive into how we decided what to see, where to lay our heads, and what to eat. We'll then discuss tours and whether we chose any guides. The Amalfi Coast is one of those places with a must-see reputation. Staggeringly picturesque and maddeningly tourists, it can also be rewarding and frustrating. As an antidote to intense Naples, we hope for a romantic break. These towns are the big three sights of the Amalfi Coast. Positano is like a living Gucci ad and has the best overnight options. Amalfi evokes a day when small towns with big fleets were powerhouses on the Mediterranean. And Ravello is fun for that tramp in a palace feeling. Rick Steves says the Amalfi Coast can be done in a day, using Sorrento as your home base. But for a small town vacation from your vacation, Rick suggests spending a few more days on the coasts, sleeping in Positano. That is what we plan to do. So let's connect the dots. How did we get from the hotel in Naples to our hotel in Positano? It's actually not too easy. There are no direct trains from Naples to Positano. You can get a train to Sorrento, but then you will need to get on a bus or take a cab to Positano. You can also navigate the ferry systems. There's nothing direct on the day we were arriving, but we could have hopped out to Capri and then into Positano. But Positano does not have a real pier, so you might get stuck. Now, after searching our options, we decided to again rent a private driver to take us for the little under 2-hour drive. We'll be picked up at our hotel in Naples and be brought directly to our villa in Positano. It's a bit spendy, about 186 euros one way. I think it is about $86 or more than the train taxi ride option, and probably more than that if the ferries are running well. But we also will have no challenges with our suitcases either by taking a car. So I swallowed, I gulped, and I paid the 186 euros. Now, Positano has a few 3-star must-sees, a couple of nice walks, and a museum to catch one's attention during this busy day. The wildly scenic Amalfi Coast drive from Sorrento to Salerno is one of the great all-time great white knuckle rides, whether you tackle it by bus or taxi or minibus. Gasp! Get on the right side of the car or the bus as one heads out of Naples, or be on the left-hand side if you're returning towards Sorrento. There is a reputedly excellent paper museum in Amalfi. Paper has been an important industry here since Amalfi's glory days in the Middle Ages. Mill workers would pound rags in a big vat, pull it up on a screen, and air dry each sheet. The Villa Simbrone offers another romantic garden, this one built upon the ruins of an old convent. Located at the end of Ravello, it was created in the 20th century by Englishman William Beckett. We'll plan on spending one of our days backtracking to visit Pompeii. Stopped in their tracks by the eruption of Vesuvius in AD 79, Pompeii and Herculaneum offer the best look anywhere at what life in Rome must have been like around 2,000 years ago. Now, most of these hotels are all on or near Via Cristoforo Colombo in Positano, which leads from the Sponda bus stop down into the village. Now, outside of high season, May through September, prices can get a little softer. Most places close in the wintertime, from December to February or longer. So expect to pay more than $20 euros per day to park. Now, out of these choices, we chose the Villa Rosa for our time in Positano. It has 12 rooms that are said to be spacious, and the rooms are decorated with, you guessed it, roses. We got a room with a terrace, which we hope is the perfect place to have our breakfast served. Now, as people who love to eat, actually the restaurants on the Amalfi Coast, overall, the reviews were a little disappointing. It seems that Positano has several interchangeable restaurants at the waterfront with view terraces that are said to be so nice that the people leave fat and happy, but with a little skinnier wallets. Most engage and have a cover charge for the view. Little is said to distinguish one place from the next. They're all scenic, they're all convenient, and they're all overpriced. And Amalfi has several pricey places on the main square that face the cathedral steps as well. So wherever we find ourselves, we'll look for something that has a decent view. But I'm not at this time expecting I'm going to be wowed by any of the restaurants that we eat, at least based on reviews. But we always want to keep ourselves open for the surprise and the awe. Also, Rick Steves is a little short on guides or things in those areas on the Amalfi Coast. I mean, there are local guides. There are tour companies that offer plenty of walking tours that cater to a variety of interests. But, most of the people are either relaxing or they're having a driver take them back to Pompeii or down to, up the coast, if you will, to Amalfi and the other cities in that way. So there isn't a tremendous amount of guides that are listed, at least by Rick. I have put the ones that he does suggest on the slide you can see here. Our next stop takes us to Rome and its rich history. We will enjoy this area for our final 5 days and 4 nights. Well, that wraps up our 12th stop on our Italian adventure, the Amalfi Coast and Positano. We've reached day 21 of our adventure, and I hope you've enjoyed this and have found this informative. If you're like me and planning a trip is almost as much fun as going on it, then be sure to tune in for all of our episodes. So until next time, when we travel to our final stop, Rome, be well and take care.